Kia ora koutou e hoa mā. My name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar.nz. Welcome to this video about the full moon in Cancer that's coming up after New Year's Eve and after New Year. Is on the 7th of January. So just before we get into the video, I want to say thank you for your support with buying my calendar. Most copies are sold now, but there are a few left. You can contact me. I'll put the contact details in the description box. Or there's a few shops in Nelson and Motueka, including Spiral Store on Hardy Street, where you can buy one. But thank you everybody for your support with that. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm pleased to think of people using it. So there's the month of Capricorn. We had new moon, and we are now talking about the full moon on the 7th of January. The full moon takes place on Saturday, 7th of January in the middle of the day. And if you can imagine, above and below us, the sun will be right overhead, shining down from the sign of Capricorn in the sky, and the moon will be on the other side of the earth at its fullest point in the sign of Cancer. And then later we'll have sunset at 9 o'clock and moonrise at around 9:30. And I don't know about other parts of the country, but in Nelson Whakatū here, we have a really cool full moon drumming group, and I know they will be doing the full moon drumming probably that night. Lots of people at the beach around a fire. Is really cool. So this is what it will look on the zodiac wheel, with the sun right in the middle of Capricorn, 16 degrees 21 minutes, and the moon opposite in the sign of Cancer, 16 degrees 21 minutes. So what is the energy of Cancer? The ruling planet of Cancer is not a planet, it's actually the moon. And ruled by the moon means that Cancer is sensitive and very receptive and responsive. It reflects back what is going on around. And the element of Cancer is water. With the element of water, Cancer is about feelings and emotions that are flowing and changeable. The modality of Cancer is cardinal. Cardinal signs need direction. With the sign of Cancer, the direction is the need to nurture and develop home and family. So like a river flowing towards that nurturing of family and home and perhaps the inner child. At full moon, we've got extra energy, we've got extra sensitivity, and that will be even more so because Cancer is ruled by the moon. There's a sense of completion or coming to the high point or a culmination point in projects with the full moon. And I see that this full moon in Cancer might help us look back on the last couple of weeks where we've been connecting with family and friends over the holiday period, reflecting on the completion of that phase. With full moon, we also have the integration of opposites, or rather we need to do this. So the sun is in Capricorn on the opposite side of the astrological wheel from Cancer, and they're very different energies. With Capricorn, we've got serious structures, boundaries, a concern with status and career. And with Cancer, we've got the inward focus, a feeling of privacy, emotional sensitivity, more of a look back into the past, whereas Capricorn looks to the future more. Capricorn is legacy, Cancer is heritage. So you can see how they're different but connected. Whatever sign you were born under, you will have the astrological sign of Cancer somewhere in your life, ruling over a particular area of your life. And in that area, you are likely to have a feeling of privacy, sensitivity, and a desire to nurture. It's a beautiful sign that cares for others and wants to make things all homey and nice and emotionally safe. So enjoy that feeling at the full moon. So a little look at what's going on with this full moon in a chart, setting the energy for that time and for the next couple of weeks. So we have the sun and moon opposite on the chart. So they're always opposite at full moon. And Mercury is very close to the sun, and Mercury is going retrograde. It's appearing to go backwards in the sky, and that's affecting, during the 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde, our communications, short distance travel, social media and other connections, maybe a few mechanical issues going on as well. So take care with your communications for that 3 weeks. But we have Mercury Kazemi the next day, And that is where Mercury, going backwards, comes into exact conjunction in front of the Sun. And that can be a good time to ask the universe something that you want to know the answer to. And thinking about the realm of Mercury, which is logical thinking, communications, neighborhood connections, that could be the kind of topic that you ask for guidance on. So I've put the time in there, 1:57 a.m. So you might want to be up at that time on Sunday, the 8th of January. But otherwise, you could ask the question before you go to sleep that night. We've also got, with the full moon, the moon and sun sextile and trine to the planet of Uranus. And Uranus has been in Taurus for quite a while now. And Uranus is about unconventional thinking, freedom, revolution, new ideas, and also sudden and sometimes shocking change. In this case, Uranus will be helping some of the good feelings at the full moon because a trine and a sextile, they're an easy and flowing aspect. If you're feeling like any unconventional ideas or a desire to associate with new, different people, if you're noticing that desire, I would recommend that you just go along with it because it could be a really good thing. I'm pleased to say that with 2023, we're moving out gradually from the influence of the Saturn-Uranus square that has affected so much of world politics, national politics, and our personal lives. And that's where we've got the challenge and the friction between Saturn with its top-down hierarchy, rules and authority and the old ways of doing things, versus Uranus at wanting revolution and change and freedom and truth, sometimes hard truths. They have not been getting on well, and we've seen that playing out in the world and in our personal lives, and we're now moving out of that influence. So, phew, hopefully some easier connections there between the old and the new and the different ideas that everybody has. I've done a layout here of the solar year starting back in June when we had the midwinter solstice, and then building up with the sun's energy coming back to us to December and the summer solstice, and then going back down to the winter solstice in June of 2023. So this is the cycle of the earth around the sun. Within that cycle we have 13 or maybe 12 and a half roughly lunar cycles, and that is the cycle of the moon going around the earth. And I've done a wee pattern here, so we've got little new moons, those little dark spots, and then the energy builds up to the full moon, and those are the little white spots, so the energy comes down, up, right through. At this time we've had the new moon in Capricorn on the 23rd of December, and we're building up to the full moon in Cancer on the 7th of January. So that's where we are in the solar year. And I wanted to mention this because I want to show you about the retrogrades. If you look at this yellow curve here, or the yellow upside down point, that's Mercury retrograde that we're in now. So Mercury, planet of logical thinking and communication, appearing to go backwards in the sky over a 3-week period. So we're in that retrograde until the 19th of January. We are also in another retrograde, and that is Mars retrograde. And it's unusual to have both at once, but we do. It's quite a backwards energy at the moment. And Mars started its retrograde at the end of October, and it is going until the 13th of January. And we've also got Uranus retrograde at the same time. When the outer planets like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn, when those go retrograde, we don't feel it as strongly, and they go for a very long time. But Mars and Mercury, we feel that more strongly. However, all those 3 retrogrades will be finished by the end of January, and that will be us coming out of a lot of retrograde energy, because earlier in 2022 the other outer planets were retrograde. Now let's look at this area from the end of January until the first part of April. The next time we experience a retrograde, that will be Mercury retrograde from the 21st of April. and shortly after that Pluto will go retrograde, and then the other planets will start to go retrograde again. We have this period in here from the end of January up to the first part of April with no retrograde planets, and that is quite unusual. That is a really good opportunity to move forward with our projects. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to encourage us to use this retrograde time that we're in now to think about our directions in life. Where do we want to be going? What do we want to be doing? How do we want our lives to look like and feel like? And because all of the big planetary cycles that have been affecting us for the last 3 years are helping to bring about new earth and new ways of being, what do we want our world to look like? And what can we do towards that to help create the world that we want to see? There we go, everybody. Enjoy the full moon in Cancer, building up to that full moon, and also the season of summer solstice, holiday, swimming, the warmth, tomatoes ripening on the vine. It's a beautiful time. Hei konara, ka kite.